Guys, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm sorry, George Ryan. Anyway, Novak Djokovic, we got to talk about it. Gutsy move. Gutsy move by Novak, saying he's going for the Golden Slam, playing for his country. You got to give him credit. You got to give the man credit. He really does love his country. He wants to play for that gold. He's going for the ultimate gusto. He's not backing down from the challenge, and it'll be amazing. I think if Novak can pull this off, guys, winning the Grand Slam and then winning the Golden Slam, this not only becomes the best achievement we've ever seen in tennis, this is right up there. I can't think of a better year in any sport ever. This could be one of the most amazing achievements in all of sport. Imagine if Novak in 1 year wins the Grand Slam, wins the Olympics, and breaks the all-time Grand Slam record. Is there a better record ever done out there? Let me know. Unique chance for the Golden Slam. Novak dances with wolves. Djokovic. Yes. Djokovic says he's a wolf. We have people here. Bashkar says, hey, good evening. How are you? I am good, Bashkar. So what do you guys think about this? Number one, what do you think about the achievement? If he achieves this, I would love to hear from a Federer fan, from a Nadal fan. Is there any debate? Is there any argument left that he's not the GOAT? This would be the ultimate GOAT move, to win the Olympics and then goes and wins the US Open. Boom. 21 Grand Slams, got the Olympic gold medal. You just can't do any more than that. I think it puts an exclamation point on what a lot of people are already thinking. Even Fed fans are admitting, even Nadal fans are admitting, gosh, he is the GOAT. So I think if he wins this, if he pulls this off, this is one of the best achievements in all of sports ever. And it solidifies him as the GOAT. You just can't even, there's just no argument you could possibly come up with. No logical argument. I don't think that's out there. I don't want to start hearing, well, other people didn't go play, so it's not really that great, just the guts it takes with all the things going on. It's a big, risky move, in my opinion, which gets to my next point. If Novak can pull this off, it's amazing. The odds of him pulling it off are pretty good, especially since, Federer I don't think is going to play the Olympics. I don't know. Is Federer playing the Olympics? Has he made an announcement? Nadal's definitely not going. I heard de Minaur has COVID. And so I think a lot of people are going to be afraid that it's going to be too much to bite off and chew to go play the Olympics and then go to the US Open. And there's all these restrictions, and it does appear, I think there's a story even that a lot of the Yankees have COVID now. I mean, it just seems that it's a very risky, it's a high risk, high reward thing that Novak is doing here. And in my opinion, I don't know. I know that it's all about, I give Novak the ultimate respect. I said it was like greedy. That's not a word I should have used. I said, well, Novak doing this, it's a bit greedy to go try and do the Olympics and then win the US Open. A better word should be ambitious. And maybe, in my opinion, it's too ambitious to try and win the gold and then fly back to New York and then win the US Open. I think there's a lot of risk involved. And if Novak wins the US Open, that puts him at 21. That puts him at winning the Grand Slam. Even without winning the gold medal in Tokyo, that puts him as the GOAT right there. And that puts it as the best year in tennis ever. Winning the Grand Slam, that's the ultimate thing you can do in tennis. And then having the most Grand Slam titles in the same year, that's it. Game, set, match. Checkmate. Again, even without him going to the Olympics, that's it. You just he's the GOAT. He's the greatest ever. It's the greatest thing ever accomplished in tennis, ever done. He doesn't need the Olympics to do that. And if something were to happen through, you know, traveling with COVID, or he gets injured somehow, or he just gets exhausted, and think about how much this has got to be building. The pressure's got to be building on him. He's already won the Australian Open. He's already won the French. Now he's won Wimbledon. Now he's trying to win the Olympics, which is going to be another big emotional thing. And then go do the U.S. Open. He could go into the U.S. Open mentally and physically exhausted and lose to somebody he just has no business losing to, or to play a really, really good player that he's got to have all his faculties at 100% and just falls a little short. And then all of a sudden he does not win. He's still stuck on 20. He doesn't have 21, and he doesn't win the Grand Slam. That is my only thing for kind of saying, Novak, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure that you want to go to the Olympics and do this? Because I know you love your country. I know it'd be like the ultimate achievement, but you don't need to do this. Are you sure you want to do this? I don't know. I just hope it doesn't come back to get him. I think it might end up playing out and being a little too ambitious to try and do all of this. Now, if he can do all of this, it's amazing. And the odds of him doing it are pretty good because he's pretty much unbeatable right now. So if he just doesn't get hurt and he can stay fresh, he's probably going to pull this thing off. Let me see what you guys think. Am I getting too concerned? Am I too careful about this whole thing? Or could this come back and bite him, get him? So we have some comments. Bashkar, he's just so brutal. He goes, he's not the GOAT, whatever he does, because he loves Federer. I'm an unashamed Fed fan, but this would be the best achievement in tennis, hands down, says George Ryan. You got to understand, if you have 20 Grand Slams and the Golden Slam is the only challenge. No, the Grand Slam is the main thing. The Grand Slam, not the Golden Slam, is what everybody remembers. Winning the Olympics will be the cherry on top. But people never forget. We're not going to ever forget Roger, Rafa, or Novak. I mean, come on. We're not going to forget them, of course. But my point is look at Rod Laver. What is Rod Laver most famous for? He won the Grand Slam 2 times. That's why the guy is immortal. That's why you have Rod Laver Arena. That's why they played the Laver Cup. That is why, because he did that. And people are like, damn, he did that twice. Novak's got a chance to do it and have the Grand Slam title record in 1 year. That's even more impressive, I think, than what Laver did. No disrespect to Laver. That's even more impressive. Okay. Read another one. Interior Tennis says, trust me, Pete, my friend, if Novak wins the Golden Slam, he will be the greatest athlete of all time. GOAT already. Yeah, I mean, I think if he does win the Golden Slam, and so, hey, the GOATs want to be as great as they can be. If he wins this opens up a whole thing that I hope, like an ESPN. ESPN, you better be watching this closely. All the sports networks, Fox Sports, every single sports person, every sports expert, you better start studying up on your tennis now so you don't sound like a bozo, right? Like Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith, and who's that other? You got Skip Bayless. Like, you guys better start studying up on your tennis now. And you better have a lot of stories, not just talk about it for 10 seconds. You better cover this as the greatest achievement in all of sports ever if he pulls it off. If he does do this has got to be much bigger than tennis, and the sports so-called experts have to understand how amazing this is, and they've got to do a good job of reporting it and teach people, the lay people out there, how amazing this is, and that this is the best achievement in all of sports, because really, I don't know how you can outdo this. I don't know how you can possibly outdo this in any other sport. So I just hope if he does go and he's taking on this much risk, He's trying to win the Golden Slam, you know, with all this stuff going on in the world and all the pressure he's facing. They better give it a lot of attention. George Ryan says Fed is out with a knee injury. That is not good. Are you sure? I've heard rumors that he has a knee injury. Can anybody point me to an article that is confirming that Federer definitely has re-injured his knee? That is not good. That could be game, set, match on Federer's career. I mean, at age 39, 40, especially the way he went out Wimbledon, you know, how much are you going to really fight to get back on the tour when you've achieved all that Federer's achieved? I mean, really, Federer, if you have another knee injury right now, if you legit have a serious knee injury, you know, not just a little tweak, but if you're really hurt, man, I love you, dude. You might just want to say that's it. And you don't need to prove any more to us. You just don't. Many top players are not playing the Olympics, seemingly win the gold unless he's injured. That's right. I'm not worried about Novak going over there and facing competition. It's something that I'm worried about, the idea of just taking on too big a load, getting hurt, because it's just a lot of things you have to do to prepare to do this. And then to go play the US Open, I just think it's a big risk. Do you think he's risking being burnt out? Well, he's not going to be burnt. Ollie Payton says, do you think he's risking being burnt out for the US Open? It won't be burnt out. You know, his motivation's going to be high. There's a difference between being burnt out and being like just exhausted, just spent, you know. So burnt out to me is somebody's like, I'm tired and I just kind of like sick of the whole thing. Like I'm not inspired anymore. I need a break. I think Novak's going to be on just sky high motivation wise, not burn out, not tired of the game, but just tired, just physically tired. You know, like you want to go do something, like you're excited about it, but you're just kind of like, I just can't, you know. That's different than burnout to me. 30 days between the Olympics and the US Open. What is your point? Yeah, but you're going to another country. It's so much media press. It's just more tiring and grueling playing a tournament, especially going from tournament to tournament. Then, you know, ideally, I do think, like my point is, Novak ordinarily wouldn't play the Olympics, wouldn't play any tournaments going into the US Open. He would just train, make sure he's really taking care of his body, and then he'd go play in Cincinnati, the Western Southern Open. Then he'd go to the US Open peaking. You know, if you play too much tennis too early, then you don't go in at your peak. That's my point. That's my point. All right. With so many big stars pulling out of the Olympics, I think few rounds should not be taxing on his body. I expect only 2 tough rounds. Yeah. I'm certainly not saying, guys, he can't pull it off. I'm not saying that at all. Djokovic is the definition of guts. Yes, he is. He is the definition of guts. He will win both. He is sure he wants to do this. 23 out of the 50 players are not playing Tokyo. It'll be interesting to see how many of them are going to be able to play the US Open. I got even more respect for him for doing this. So Pistol Shrimp Studio says I have more respect. Well, how can you not respect? I definitely respect it. Don't get this wrong, guys. I respect the hell out of it. I think it's amazing. Oh, excuse me. That was bad. I think it's amazing. And there's an alien living in my throat. I just ate a bag of Doritos before I came on live. That's where that burp came from. There is a lot of time between Tokyo and US Open. Yes, I keep hearing that. But but what you understand, guys, he can't rest enough. Okay. Yes, there's a lot of time coming between those, but he's going to have to train to win Tokyo. And then he's going to have to train hard to win the US Open. That's a whole other cycle that he's going to have to go through. It's not just about, oh, he's only playing 5 extra matches. It's not about that. It's about the way you have to prepare for that. Then the way you have to start preparing again for the US Open. That's my only point, guys. And they're just not used to doing that. You seem to forget that he's going to the Olympics to act as a patriot, not ambition or greed. No, I do get that. I think it's amazing. And He clearly loves his country. Unfortunately, there ain't that much money in tennis. ATP controls the fund allocations to marketing and media narrative. Unfortunate, what is this? And Nole is rattling ATP bosses. So why would you promote Nole's achievements? Nope, that ain't going to happen. Facebook and Twitter announcements. Oh, so Federer made an announcement himself that his knee is hurt. I would like to see that. Can anybody send me the link? Can you put the link in there, George, of his announcement? Have you been saying since the past 2 decades, ATP doesn't want Nole to be promoted? They prayed and expected Roger would do it until the next gen takes over, nullifying Nole, period. I mean, yes, obviously, I don't know if it's necessarily the ATP doesn't want it, but the fans obviously seem to gravitate towards Roger than Rafa. They love the Roger-Rafa rivalry. Novak, I think, has gotten the short end of the stick just because he came in and broke up that bromance. I think people have silly reasons for not liking Novak. I mean, Novak is you gotta love the guy. First of all, it didn't come easy to Novak. He had to work for it for years. He played third fiddle for like 3 or 4 years. He kept working on his game. He kept improving. Right there, that's a good life lesson. If you watch what Novak does with charities and the way he treats kids, you know, I love Roger, I love Rafa, and I'm not saying that they need to do it or should do it, but if you notice, Novak, his last 2 majors, he gives his racket to a kid. He goes into the stands. I've not ever seen Roger or Rafa, and I'm sure that they do give rackets and things like that away to kids, but I've never seen on such a big stage that they have the presence of mind to, hey, let me find a kid and give a racket to him. And I got to watch Novak practice one time, and he saw this kid with like #1 Novak fan, and I saw Novak see him, notice him, he started to smile at the kid. He was touched by that, and he was kept asking the person who's like bringing him around to sign the autographs. After Novak practice, Novak is saying, hey, where's the kid? Where's the kid? And the standard says, oh, he's down there. He's, oh, okay. And then somebody said, hey, Novak, can I have your hat? And Novak said, no, I have to give it to the kid. And he goes all the way down. He takes his hat off and puts it right on the kid's head, signs the hat. I mean, Novak, I think he's somehow become, he has to play the villain. That's why I said in my last broadcast, he has to play the villain without being the villain. Like, he's not a villain, guys. He's not a bad guy. He's not like obvious. Like John McEnroe was obviously a villain. You know, the guy was obviously a jerk, whether you love him or hate him. I was a huge Mac fan, but there's no way two ways around it. He was a jerk. You know, Nick Kyrgios, love him or hate him, you know, he's done some things on the court that you just shouldn't respect. He's tanked, he's given up, he's yelled at his fans, he's yelled at his opponents, he's yelled at the umpire. He's just done a lot of stupid stuff. He's a villain if you want him to be. I mean, I don't necessarily know that even Kyrgios is a bad person, but you know, you can make him a villain. Novak's really not a villain, and I know you can point to him hitting the woman at the U.S. Open. That was a freak thing that really could have happened to anybody. Of course, he loses his temper from time to time. He does have a temper, but I don't think it's anywhere near in the ballpark of a John McEnroe or anything like that. You know, so I understand some people don't like him. I happen to really like him. I hope he can pull this off. If he does pull it off, I think it's the greatest achievement in any sport ever. Let's see here. Where is the competitive spirit in you to miss the Golden Slam because you're worried? Forget about it. He has great recovery potential. Okay. I just hope he doesn't get hurt. That's all. Olympics is Olympics, once in 4-year event. I never understood why New York fans don't seem to like Nole. He's just a typical New Yorker. LOL. Yeah. Let's see this. Even that Johnny was a villain has understood Novak is acknowledging Nole's achievements. I'm a Nole fan, but he did shout at the umpire in Rome. I mean, you know, the guy's been a long time on the tour. You can even find videos of Federer being not such a nice boy. You know, Federer's even lost it from time to time. But Nole's definitely more fiery. I mean, he's more fiery than a Federer, right? I mean, he lets it out. He builds up the rage. He has passion, says Mark Davis. So yeah, guys, that's it. I just wanted to come on in and see what you guys thought of Novak making that official announcement. Definitely shows many things. Number one, he is really going for the GOAT. Like, he's going hard for the GOAT to where there is absolutely no debate. He's putting a couple of explanation points behind it by going after the Olympics. He is showing his country that he has great pride and that he loves his country very, very much. And he's super proud to be representing his country. If you go read his quote, that's pretty much exactly what he said. You know, he's so proud and so excited to be representing his country. So that's a really awesome thing, again, to be respected and admired. And he believes in his ability that, hey, it's not too much. He agrees with you guys. He doesn't agree with me, obviously. He agrees with you guys that, hey, I got plenty of recovery time. I can totally do this. I want to do this. And if I can do this, hell, there ain't nothing better ever done in any, I mean, I don't know. Write it down. Maybe if you're watching this, you love tennis, but you love something else. Write something that beats this. So I wish him luck. I think if he's going this far, he's gone this far, and no one's coming close to having the year that he's having. You know, I'm no longer, even if Federer's healthy for the U.S. Open, I'm not even really rooting for Federer. And I ordinarily would root for Federer to win the U.S. Open, or Rafa or somebody else. You know, if he's going to go and put this much gut and this much heart into it, I want him to win the Olympics, and I want him to win the U.S. Open, and I want him to achieve this for himself because he deserves it, for tennis, and for all of sport. This is I can't think of anything that tops this. So I hope that he does it. I wish you the best, Nole. I respect you for doing this. It's amazing. And that's my thought. Let me know your thoughts after you watch this. And I will see you guys in another broadcast. Like it up, smash it up, subscribe.